Hello, welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. We're back today with issue 45, the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. Okay, so what's in the magazine for issue 45? Well, it's a bit of a step in a different direction. Games, toys and models. So apparently there's a board game I didn't know about, may have to look this up. There is also Barbie and Ken versions of Jack and Rose. And we have the fairly new release, which is the massive Lego Titanic. Same scale as this actually, 1/200th scale, I do believe, which is absolutely stunning. And for a Lego model, the level of detail that they've gone to, even recreating the decks and the boilers and everything, and the engines, although obviously our engines are slightly more detailed. Yeah, very, very cool. So yeah, some of the details there. And that brings us on to the instructions. So what are we doing today? Well, let's find out what's in the box. Okay, so in today's box we have horrible brown and paper envelopes. I can see the rest of the build coming in this. Okay, to be honest, I'm not overly happy, as I've mentioned before, because it's a lot easier for stuff to get stuck in the folds than it is in a clear plastic bag. But you know, the Green Priest Brigade are crying about plastic, so hope they all choke in their mixed paper straw. And obviously we have the nice wooden deck section. I believe this is the starboard side of the boat deck with the first couple of lifeboats. I do believe. So yeah, it'll sit like that on the deck. Take that out of the way. Let's open the first horrible brown envelope. In there we have a couple of lifeboats. And we have the tarpaulin to go over the top. Now the tarpaulin is very, very plain. Not a lot of detail on it. May opt to change that later, but for the moment it'll do. And then in here we have all the davit pieces. And a winch, apparently. Just the one though. So. I think all the davit pieces are exactly the same. I'm wrong. Some of them are different. So I will need to go through and figure out which ones are which. Oh dear. Okay, so they're all the davit pieces for assembling boat deck davits. I think we're only doing the first ones on the starboard side of the boat deck. So we say 2 boats, a winch, all the davit pieces. So I will identify which pieces are which, and I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so now I've established which pieces of davit are which. We're not going to be working on them straight away. We are instead going to be sticking the deck down, which as always is going to need my clamps, and it's going to need the previous section of deck that we worked on. So just take the clamps off. You can see now the section's all nicely pressed down. And hopefully we won't have any peeling up problems. But again, I do love how this looks. It's looking amazing. And again, getting rid of another piece of white here. So there we go. Again, just paint on. Now I did have a comment on my last video basically asking why I'm putting the wood glue or the PVA glue on when basically the decks have a self-adhesive on them. The reason for it is sticky back stuff I've mentioned previously, but I'll bring it up again. In my opinion, my models sit in quite a warm room. It's warm all year round, even in the winter. This room is warm. Because it's where my reptiles are housed. So I don't want the deck warping and peeling up, so I'm opting to add belt and braces. sort of thing. A little bit of extra adhesive just to make sure my deck won't peel up. Because this will be in a case and it will be displayed for, hopefully for a very, very long time. And I would like it to stay looking as good as it's, well, as good as humanly possible, but certainly as good as it did on the day I finished. So, good. We managed to peel it off without any of the planks falling apart. And again, line up all the holes. It's a little bit easier because you've got the davits in this bit to help you line everything up. Nice push down to secure everything. And while I'm working on the next bit, I will add my clamps. Just to try and keep it all pressed down as much as is humanly possible. Now, I'm not sure if I need super glue for this one or not. I will have a look in just a moment and see what the instructions are saying, whether they want me to super glue bits in or not. But there we go. Perfect. Now I'll set that aside just for a moment to let that start to dry. I'll move my glue over here and my little paintbrush. Okie dokie. So now we're going on to work on the davits themselves. This is how you identify which davit is which. So we need part 45I, which is this base piece here that looks like that. And the side with the peg sticking out, you can see there the peg sticks out there. And it also, well, it sticks out on the other side too, but that's the way you want it, is so that these points are facing here. And then we're taking out part E, which is the one that looks like this. The two pegs are there, and the cutaway is here. And, right, okay. It is going into these two holes there. Right, okay, yes. And the cutout section is just to kind of indicate to you that it should be sitting just at the back there, like that. So that's how that sits. And it does say to glue it, so I'm going to need to get a little bit of super glue out. Yeah, I was kind of wondering, sometimes it says to glue and you don't need to, other times it says not to glue and you do need to. So I just wondered which one of these occasions it was. Turns out this is an occasion where it does tell you to glue, and you do need to. A rare occasion. So you're going to get to see me open some brand new super glue because, yeah, my last tube has run out. So again, this glue, the reason I buy this is it comes in a vacuum sealed tube and it's easier to store it upright so that the glue filters back down the nozzle into the vacuum sealed tube rather than staying in the nozzle and clogging it up. Again, a few drops into a Pringles lid, and I use my handy dandy glue applicator. You may notice it's a different one. That's because this one doesn't spin as well as the other one. So I'm using the other one as my drill now, and I'm using this one to apply my super glue. And that one's a bit better weighted towards the bottom so it doesn't fall over as much. Okay, so put the davit in like that. Just hold it for a few moments until it's set. And that's all we're doing. We're now taking the other davit base, which looks like this. I think this is the one we're taking. Yes, yes it is. And we're taking the other arm with the angled pins, just like that. And they're going into the middle two pins here. So hold on till I... Ah, right, okay, yeah. It's going into the middle two pins. I'm trying to figure out what they were. Oh, right, okay, okay. So it goes in on the other side. It goes in on this back side. The instructions in the magazine are very, very unclear as to where they want this to go. So these two pins, right, the two pins on this davit are going in. Oh, this is so unclear. They're going into the two middle holes that you can see in here, and they're going in on the other side from it shows in the picture. So I'll put this in and I'll show you what I mean, because the pictures are very, very unclear. So it's the middle two holes that you can see there and there. So I've put a little bit of glue, and as I say, it's the davit that's marked F, 45F, and it is going in to these two holes. And again, the cutout section should match in with that pin. That was what gave me the hint of where it was going, but that's very, very unclear. And on the other side, into the other two pins, we are fitting one of them ones marked H. Now, how many H's are there? There are 3 marked H. So they're the ones like this, with the two pinholes there and there that you can see. And that one is going into the other side, into the other two holes, which is here and here. Now, that's the only thing that's confusing about this, is that the picture wasn't very good there. It's trying to show you fitting them both at the same time, where it should have taken the time to tell you fit one on one side, turn it over, fit one on the other. But that is how that one is looking. So put that to the side. And then the other two get put together very, very similarly. So I'll do one off camera, and then I'll do one on camera first, and then off camera second. So H is the one part H again is the one with the two pins on either side. It is going on the back. So again, turn your davit over, dot the two side ones with some glue. And the only real way to test that you're orienting it the right way is, so this is the one marked H with the two horizontally opposed pins, and it goes on like that, so that the nub is on that side of it, if that makes sense. And then on the other side, we're putting one of the ones that are marked G, in which the pins are vertically opposed. And then doing the exact same with the other one. Now there is a slight difference between the two, but it's not massive, so it's very easy to get it wrong. And then again, back over to the other side. I'm really looking forward to doing this again next issue, because it's the exact same thing. So again, the two horizontally opposed pegs go in here like that, so that that peg there is in that direction. And then the final davit piece. Again, this could have been so much easier if they'd just been a bit clearer with the pictures, but they weren't, so I hope that helps. So that is all the davit pieces done. Now it's telling us to attach them to the deck, but I'm going to give the deck just that extra few minutes with the clamps on it. So I'm going to do the bolts next, and it tells you 100% not to glue the bolts. So again, it doesn't matter which way round the tarpaulin goes, and it doesn't matter which way round these go, as long as the hooks, as you can see there, are facing front bow to stern. But it will only fit in one way, so you don't need to worry too much about that. I'm not 100% sure about not gluing the tarpaulins on, but the only reason I'm not is because I may choose to amend them later. So that's what the bolt looks like. Now it will obviously hook onto the davits at some point, but not yet. Again, lifeboat number 2. If I can get the tarpaulin piece to sit on. Now I know there's been quite a lot of debate and quite a lot of people are quite upset about how the tarpaulin looks. It looks good enough. It's better than the prototype model, which had no tarpaulins on it at all. I think that's why they're designed the way they are, is so you can have them on if you wish, but you can also remove them if you don't want them on. So I don't know. I might leave them on. I might take them off. Haven't decided. Okie dokie. So let's pull over the deck and take off the clamps. I'll see what ones I can put back on. Because you can see there, right at the back there, the deck's starting to lift up where I couldn't get clamps on it. Right at that back piece. Now that's really annoying. You'll see what I mean in just a second when I show you. So move the clamps. This is why I use the glue, because you can see right at the back there, the deck is already starting to lift up. Now what use is that? That deck has been stuck down for a grand total of what, 5-10 minutes, and it's already starting to lift. Imagine what that'll be like after a year, 2 years. By the time we finish the model even, the deck won't even be stuck down anymore. So that's why I put the wood glue underneath it. Okay, so first and foremost, the davit that we need, because 2 of them are exactly the same and 2 of them are different. So the first one we need is the one that's wonky. And it goes right at the front. It goes in to these 2 holes here, and again it's big hole, small hole, will only go in one way, and it fits like a glove, so you won't need to glue it, which is always handy. Now this one has the bolt hanging outwards slightly, so as such the next one that goes on is the one with one davit hanging out the way and one davit straight up. Again, push it in, being careful not to snap the davits off, because I don't fancy trying to glue them back on once this is in the deck. There you go. The front tab didn't want to go into the hole there, so a little bit of assistance with the tweezer. And then the other 2 ones just go in the holes accordingly, and they go in a lot more easily. So again, no glue required on these, but these details will also assist with keeping the decking down. Just going to put a little dab of glue underneath the decking that's already lifted, as I mentioned before, and making me very upset. See, right at the back, and the problem is my clamps aren't long enough to reach back there to clamp that properly, which is very upsetting. Actually, hold on. I'll see if I can be a wee bit cheeky and sneak one in through the grand staircase. Nah, I can't. It won't fit. Worth a try. Oh, actually, I've just broken my clamp. Not handy. There we go. There we are. So that's how that's looking. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting very, very impressed with how this boat deck looks. Yeah. And that is it for issue 45. Not the most fun, but again, not the least fun either. Alas, I did forget one thing. The little winch. It goes in just there, which will help magnificently with keeping that bit of annoying deck down. And again, one big pin, one small pin, so it will only go on one way. And that is it. Fantastic. So that's what it looks like now, with the missing piece added. Not been a great day for me today, has it? Let's be honest, not one of my best. Okay, so that's all done for issue 45. What's coming in issue 46? The exact same on the other side. Woo! But yeah, once that's done, it'll again add a tremendous amount to the detail level of the boat deck, and it'll take away some more of the white plastic. So yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm really pleased with how it's coming on, and yeah, can't wait to keep going. But as always, thank you for watching. Feedback, comments, complaints, criticisms, drop them below. If you like what you see, leave me a like, and why not subscribe to the channel so you can be updated with future episodes, because as I say, I'm hoping to build this until it gets finished. But as we saw with Eagle Moss, nothing is guaranteed. But again, thank you very much for watching, and as always, peace out.